What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. This time it's Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe Retaliation, and you can't purchase this figure, but if you're looking for other hot toys, head over to bigbadtoystore.com. Just click the link down below. They offer $4 shipping, and they got a pile of loot where you can stash all your purchases and ship it all at once, so you save on shipping. And they double box your figure as well. So if you're interested, just click the link down below. Alright, so let's take a look at Snake Eyes. Once again, this is one of the complete line that I do have for G.I. Joe. Never plan on reviewing this figure, but since we're in a lockdown, whatever, I decided to go ahead and do so. You get the box. There's this, I guess, Snake Eyes logo. I didn't even know that was his logo, but the box is nice. It's all white, and it's one of those traditional shoebox style. No, not really. It's like a pull-out style box of Hot Toys. Now, mind you, this has been released maybe 2014, if I'm not mistaken. And on the back, you can see this is a picture of the actual actor, Snake Eyes, on the back there, and then you can see all the credits. Nice, really nice photo, though. But as far as the figure itself, his hands just reminds me of DX12, of Batman from The Dark Knight. It kind of looks like that. It's gloved hands that you can probably use in many occasions, if you're doing a kit bash. As a matter of fact, Snake Eyes, his armor has been used in so many kit bashes for Wolverine, Days of Future Past, and all that stuff. If you're doing something, his armor is just sought after back in the day. I don't know about now, but back then, you can use his armor for different sorts of kit bashes. You can see, mind you, this is 2014, so the paint application might be a little rough here and there. And this figure, once I took it out, it was in the shelf for the longest time. I don't really play around with my figures. As soon as I get them, I kind of like let them stand there in a museum pose or whatever. So this is his handgun, and mind you, this was like a 6 years old figure or whatever. So I took him out. It's like kind of bored, and I'm like play around with it. And some of the glue that is holding out maybe the pouches and all that stuff, you can see them a bit getting loose and whatnot. So that's a bit unfortunate, but for the price that we're paying for these guys, which, mind you, I didn't pay a whole lot for Snake Eyes back in the day. He didn't really sell well. Right now, I think if you go on eBay, he's still pretty decently priced. Not ridiculous for somebody who's been sold out for a long time. So you can see the sword that he does have here. Yeah, it's still nice that I do get him, but the quality control is not the best. Even now, to be quite honest with you, with Hot Toys, the quality control is still not the best 6 years later. But one thing that I would commend them for is this sword, which would not focus. This is die-cast. Not this one, the other one. Oh no, this is die-cast. Light metal though, which is I do appreciate it, but it is die-cast because when you hold it, a die-cast from a plastic one. The black one is plastic. This one's die-cast, but the drawback to that is that you can see here, I didn't really wipe it down. If I did wipe it down with some polish or something, I'm pretty sure it would look pristine, but I did not. I just took it out of the box. I was bored and decided, hey, you know what? Why not? I got to release a video. I wanted to release a video every Thursday or Friday anyway. So then he comes with a gun. So he comes with 2 swords, a couple of knives, and this looks like I'm not even sure what kind of gun is this. It looks like an Uzi with a bunch of stuff. I'm pretty sure our gun aficionados would correct me with that. It's not an Uzi for sure. It looks like an MP5 at first, but not. It comes with this like long mag. Looks like an ACOG scope and retractable stock. It looks really nice. Did he use this in the movie? I think he did. It's been a while since I watched that movie. I rewatched it for a little bit, before when I was reviewing Storm Shadow, but I stopped kind of like in the middle. Not because I hated the movie. I actually didn't mind the movie. A lot of people did. I didn't hate the movie. It wasn't memorable enough for me though. I mean, The Rock was there, and I was a big fan of G.I. Joe, the cartoons, even back in the day. So when they announced this on Hot Toys, regardless of what I think of the movie, I'm a bit biased when it comes to the character. So for sure I was gonna buy this, and this is one of those knives that he does come with. This is one of those rare occasions where I wish the thing was really rope instead of plastic, but I know that might be a little costly. Look at the stand, oval stand for all you young ones out there. Hot Toys used to put them on oval stand back in the day. You save space. And as far as the figure itself, in my opinion, he looks great. all black, so a little bit on the boring side. But then again, it's Snake Eyes. You know what can you ask for? The armor, you know, there's a little scuff on it. That's intentional. As you can see, some of the glues on the side, as you can see there, it's kind of like coming off. I might reglue it. I don't really want to mess with my figure so much, so I probably won't. Coming down here, you see the texture of the glove. It's kind of lighter on the lighter side. It's always been like that, you know. I wish it was a bit more darker. The fabric that they use is nice. There's a lot of movement, not a whole lot of restriction here. His boots is kind of like Oakley-ish. I'm not gonna pull this up. You can see there's a zipper on the back, which I have not touched ever, and there's no reason for you to touch it. On the back as well, the sole of the boots, there's a little bit of all over the figure, there's subtle hints of weathering, which is nice. And then going up here, he's all fabric, and the suit is not too restrictive, to be quite honest with you. These are the pouches that I was talking about. Now they are being they're velcroed, but if you lift them up, the tabs, you can see kind of like the glue is starting to kind of fade away because the old of the, you know, the age of the figure and all that stuff. See that sheath that he does have for his sword. I wish the knives were the same thing, because they just look authentic. You know, if you're purchasing something, and I know, you know, that might be a little asking for too much, but you know, again, at the same time, they're asking for too much for this figure. So yeah, a little gripe right there. And then on the shoulder pads, this actually does move, kind of like an Iron Man figure. You know, you can move it up and down, so it doesn't hinder any articulation. This guards, the forearm guards that he does have, they are being held by like some sort of tabs or whatever, but they're kind of like those pleather materials, so I wouldn't play around with them too much. As far as the head sculpt, it's kind of boring, but hey, Snake Eyes, man. He doesn't have a second head sculpt. That was what you were asking for. He does not, but it's pretty cool. I like the design overall of this figure. I just love it. It's a bit dusty. I don't know if you can tell. You know, I kind of dusted it off, but not to the point where I'm wiping it down with Pledge or anything, which I don't recommend. If anything, just water, you know. But again, even at that, you know, just take a little brush and those air thingies that I use for my cameras, and then kind of blow some air on it, and kind of brush them a little bit here and there to remove some of the dust. And he has been enclosed in a nice cabinet, you know, like not the Detolf, but like a nice China cabinet. It's not really dust proof, honestly, but you know, I don't know. I guess it's the age of the figure showing there, but it's still pretty cool. You know, I moved it around. I posted them a lot. I took some pictures. It just looks badass, man. This is one of those figures. Him and Storm Shadow. You don't really need to put him in any dynamic pose. However, you could if you wanted to. Which this might be not a good showcase for me here, because I was kind of careful, like moving him around. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have been, but this is the first time in years that I touched this figure again. Sometimes I keep on forgetting that I do have the G.I. Joe line and Metal Gear, which is upstairs. I didn't even include them in my collection video because I honestly forgot. They're upstairs, away from my collection. Maybe I should, you know, take them downstairs now since I created some room for new stuff. But here he is. This and Transformers, and I would say Ninja Turtles, were the big part of my childhood, and the X-Men cartoons back in the day. Huge part of my childhood there. And this is one of those badass poses that I was talking about, him holding the two swords, head a bit tilted down. You know, you kind of want to hunch his shoulder down moving forward, but you don't want to overdo it too much. But it is not, you know, you can do some nice poses even on the figure that's a bit more static, and he's not. Don't get me wrong. It's just there's so many moving parts on his gauntlet. If you can even call it gauntlet, and then he got this shoulder pads, and then he got something on his biceps. So you know, there's a lot of things going on within his arms that kind of makes me scared to move him a little bit, you know. But if he was just Spider-Man or something, I probably would just go crazy about it. And I would show you one of his poses here where I lifted his arms, so you can kind of show, you know, the range of movement from side of the arm. And in the front or the back, there's really no hindrance whatsoever when it comes to that shoulder pads. Look at him holding the gun. just rotating here and then holding the sword on the other side. So there's not a whole lot of accessories that's not in the figure, which is, again, I know I've said this on some of my reviews, but it's awesome when you get a figure like that. If anything, you can put the gun in his, kind of like in his foot when you were displaying him, and you don't need to leave anything in the box whatsoever. His other sword, put him on his back, on the sheath, and have him hold the other sword. This is how I pose him, just museum pose with every weapon in his arsenal. So, and then same thing with Storm Shadow here. You can see the height comparison there. It's pretty much the same. And I just love these two figures right here. It's just so iconic, at least for me, when it in terms of historical value for myself and other G.I. Joe fans out there. And there you go, guys. That is Snake Eyes in a nutshell. So I know he's pretty much sold out, but if you are a fan of Snake Eyes or G.I. Joe, maybe you're not a fan of the movie, and I can't even blame you for that. But I would tell you right now, as a standalone figure, he's pretty great. I love him. Are they gonna make one more Snake Eyes? Perhaps not. I heard that the movie didn't do well in box office. Again, I didn't hate the movie. I didn't love it. It's one of those things that are, at least it's entertaining for me. There's a lot of gun action fights and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, is it kind of like Dark Knight? No, absolutely not. Far from it. But once again, if you are planning to pick up this figure, hopefully this review helps you out. If it did, give it a thumbs up or thumbs down if you just hate the figure and the movie itself. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. 92% of viewers hasn't really subscribed to my channel. I'm really close to my goal here of 10,000 subscribers. So hopefully by the time this video comes out, I'm already at 10,000. And follow me on Twitch, please. If you like video games or just anything like that, I'm doing some live streaming pretty much every night, So again, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next review.